welcome to Dodge Neon Racing. Today we're going to be talking about the Pioneer DEH-150MP aftermarket radio. I do apologize if the clarity is bad, but this will be my first time actually doing a video using my laptop. So this is the aftermarket. I've already did some research. This will be getting installed into a 2000 Neon, and the wiring diagram for a 2000 Neon pretty much is the same from 2000 to, I believe, 2005 was the last model. Get this to focus here, but I have the wiring diagram here, and I will make a link in the description for this diagram that I've made here. I'm going to be doing a little bit more work on it, so you'll actually know. I'll be putting some notes off here on the side to be explaining for this specific radio here, and pretty much any aftermarket, because companies are trying to keep the same colors that's on this model on any other aftermarket for like the major brands. But other cheap aftermarkets probably will have different color wires than what's on this Pioneer, and that's where you're going to probably run into an issue finding the correct diagram, in a sense, because some radios do not come with a diagram for the wiring, and your car does not have the diagram like in its owner's manual. You have to get that out of your service manual, which I can leave a link in the description also for a copy of the PDF file for that specific diagram for a Neon radio, so you can go ahead and install any others. I'm gonna be verbally explaining. Oh, excuse me, I got an eye itch. If you hear a cat meowing, that would be my cat Peaches. She thinks I'm talking to somebody, so she starts meowing every time. But to go ahead and explain it here, at least for this, is you have your white and you have your white and black. To make it pretty simple, all your solid colors from white, green, red, purple, and gray, all your solid colors are a positive. All your solid colors with a black stripe are negative. So white, green, gray, and purple solid colors are positive, and black, white, green, black, gray, black, and purple black are your negatives. Okay, now, so you don't get confused, because some people do, your blue and white wire, this is for your remote. Okay, so you don't have to splice this or hook this to anything. That is just your remote, and you don't have to like have it dangling out the car. You can actually leave it tucked in the back and it will work just fine, because I've used this radio before. Now, the other thing here is this black wire is a chassis wire, so this will get hooked up to your chassis. Mine was longer, but I done trimmed it off because I'm going to be hooking it up pretty much close to the chassis. If need be, I can extend it. But then you have your your red wire, which is your switched wire, which is in a sense your switch wire. Which your switch wire, in a sense, will run from here, and it'll run to from the wire that's to hook up to the car. That will run to a switch, which runs to the secondary radio fuse, which eventually goes to your battery, the positive side. And then the yellow wire here is your constant. This would be your constant feed of the power. This runs to a fuse relay, also same fuse radio relay, from the radio to the car wire directly to the positive. So these are your, in a sense, your two power wires. This black is your ground wire. Okay, now on a neon, which I don't have neon wires, so and my diagram kind of already has it broke down. I got to do a little bit more work on it because I'll just have, like, off in the notates on the side of the page, solid colors are again, make sure I get this right because I just did some research on this. Yeah, solid colors are positive and your black and solid color are negative. Okay, I want to reiterate that because I don't want people to accidentally hook it up, the positive on a negative and negative on a positive. I'm not sure what would happen, but you could probably more likely blow one of your speakers. Now, your purple wire on your Dodge vehicle is for your right front positive. Okay, your dark blue and red is your negative on your right front speaker. Your left front speaker positive is a dark green in color. The negative for your left front speaker is a brown red color. Okay, excuse me here. And then your left rear, which represents the green wires on the Pioneer, your positive is a brown yellow and your negative is a brown and light blue color. Okay, now the purple on the Pioneer is, for the positive, would be a dark blue and white, and the negative is a dark blue and orange. Okay, now once you get all these hooked up, because this radio comes with, let me see if I can pop it off here. It comes with this wire hookup, okay, and also comes with a fuse. This fuse is a 10. In my previous vehicle I was having errors, an amp error. Well, I did some research on that. Everything I found on the internet was pretty much bogus. It didn't tell me anything. So I thought, well, let me look at the Pioneer owner's manual, and right in there it tells me that more than likely one of my speaker wires has a short in it, or it was not hooked up correctly. So that will cause an amp error. Also, a blown speaker can cause an amp error, or a short in one of your speaker wires can cause an amp error, or a blown fuse. So it's not necessarily the radio itself that's went bad, because what would happen, for an example, is I would turn it on, it would play just fine, and then there would be popping noises out of my driver's side front speaker, and then this radio would flash amp error across it and would not work. Come to find out, my speaker was blown. I mean, literally, the paper type product that connects to the magnet up to the top around of the rim was literally separated from the magnet around the top of the rim of the speaker. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about blown, it was blown to where there wasn't even any sound in it. The magnet had even become damaged, and this was due to from the car sitting for a while underneath a tree. So I do advise, if you're going to park your car, don't park it underneath trees, because I purchased this vehicle from a place that had the car sitting underneath the tree for over 8 months, and it took me about a year to get a lot of the wire issues, the electrical issues in this car fixed. Well, one, the car had to dry out because it literally had a lake in the trunk, and all the weather stripping had to be replaced because sitting underneath the tree, it ended up, from all that moisture, eating up the weather stripping, and also in the trunk, it seized the lock. And I was able to get the lock rebuilt without actually having to buy one or go to a dealership. I just went to a local locksmith here that knew what he was doing, and he was able to rebuild the frozen lock cylinders without having to buy a new one, because the aftermarket locks that they sell at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or Napa for my 2000 model and a lot of other 2000 models are not the actual same lock. The lock they have are more for the 0405 model neons, like the SXT, the RT, not the basic ES. So that's just a little tip. So in a nutshell, this Pioneer, again, it's a DEH-150MP. You can get them pretty cheap. I got mine at Best Buy for $53. You can find them online for around $69. They're really good radios. They are WMA and MP3 compatible. They have your aux cord where you would plug in for your MP3 here, and it has, let me look here, 6 settings. I think it has up to 3 FMs, so if you have a lot of FM stations in your area, you can store pretty much a lot of them. It has equalizer on the back here. It has subwoofer connections, so you can hook up your subwoofer, and the faceplate removes itself. Okay, they started doing that, if you don't know, because a lot of radios were getting stolen out of cars when a lot of these nice aftermarkets were being made, because at that time they were quite expensive and hard to get to unless you had money. But as they've become relatively cheap over the years, there's not much of a car theft, so a lot of people end up losing when they take their faceplates off. When they take their faceplates off, they lose them. And getting a replacement faceplate, especially if your radio is discontinued, is very difficult. Luckily, they still make this radio, so getting a faceplate for it would be kind of relatively easy because Pioneer still makes it. When you store your faceplates, if you take them off, the best place to store them in your vehicle would be in your glove box or some storage compartment in your vehicle that you're able to lock if you're worried about it. It's not a good idea, ladies, to take it off and put it in your purse because these buttons on here can get damaged. The connection back here can get damaged, and then you can have an issue with your faceplate not working, but your radio's fine. It's the fact that you damaged the connections on the back of it. Or some people take them in their house and their kids spill stuff on them, and it shorts this out. So anyways, it's also a CD player, and for all you Neon owners, if you've been in a vehicle that's had Sirius XM or XM radio, which Sirius XM and XM are the same exact thing. Sirius bought out XM radio and became Sirius XM. Now you can get a Sirius XM radio for your car. You don't necessarily have to go out and spend the $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 to get a satellite compatible radio for your Neon, because my Neon has a stock radio for this CD player, cassette, AM, FM equalizer. Now, and I'm going to upgrade to this because the simple fact is my cassette player in my Neon is starting to go out. My cassette player adapter with the cord that comes out that plugs into MP3, your phone, or whatever, or to the Sirius XM radio, the cassette player is starting to act funny. It's not reading it correctly. It thinks that the tape is always at the end of the cassette, so it's constantly flipping. So I'm gonna go back to this because I'm getting a replacement radio from Sirius XM, because my previous one, I had my plug and play that plugged into my cigarette lighter. It shorted out, so I'm getting a Onyx Easy, and this radio is more compatible with that than what I have in there. But if you don't have an aftermarket and you have a cassette player in your Neon and your cassette player works, you can go out and buy a cassette player adapter and be able to listen to the music on your phone, as long as it has a plug jack that you can plug into. Okay, and you can get Sirius XM in your Neon. And you may ask, why would I want satellite radio in my Neon? Because I've listened to it and it's pretty crappy. It has a lot of commercials, and that's well and true. Sirius XM is not as fantastic as it was in the beginning days of commercial-free music. They're doing a whole lot more sponsor-based commercials. Same thing like if you listen to K-Love. K-Love in the beginning was pretty much just basic Christian music nonstop, with a little bit of updates here. But now we're starting to get commercials on K-Love. They're sponsors, people that's paid for that airtime, kind of like a regular radio FM station. Your country, your pop, your rap. I about said rap. Yeah, rap, rock, hip hop genres. But the difference between FM radio and satellite radio is, if you're like me and you travel a lot, you go out of town a lot, your favorite WIX, the Frog station here in Knoxville, is not going to be playing in Pennsylvania. So, and I'm really not trying to figure out what radio stations are good in Pennsylvania. I don't live there. I really don't need it. So the Sirius XM is good because I can listen to the highway pretty much. If I just want to listen to the highway and the other 5 country stations that they have, I can listen to that with pretty much slim to none interruptions all the way from Tennessee to Pennsylvania. And by that just means I'm not having to hunt every time I lose the signal trying to find a station, because they have over 140 stations and different packages for different price ranges. Don't believe the people that tell you that you have to get all access for whatever. Last I knew, it was $49.99 a month. You don't have to pay for that. That was like 6 months or something. You can get a mostly music package for as low as $10 a month, which is a lot of the music channels. The best package they have is pretty much what I stick with, is the Select. That's around a little over $14 a month. And it works. Now, you could live in an area where you have a lot of cheap tree coverage. Yes, it will interrupt the satellite, but also you have to figure out where to position the antenna on your vehicle. I found out I had the antenna on the front of my car. I got okay signal at times, but I would go under some big highway bridges, and I would lose signal until I came out from underneath the bridge. So I put the antenna on the back of the car, and I went under the same bridge, and I didn't lose signal at all. Well, in a sense, I'm not for sure what's the difference, but the difference in positioning the satellite antenna on your car will give you the different signal strength and better reception. Same goes to say for your FM antenna on your car. I've driven cars where the antenna's on the back of the car. I've gotten better reception. My car has the FM antenna on the front of the car. Where my other vehicle with the antenna on the back didn't lose that station, my car that I drive now loses the station sooner than say a car with the antenna on the back in the middle of the roof of the car. And that goes to show for even CBs. Most people don't put their CB antenna on the front of the car, they put it on the back of the car. So it just goes to show that a lot of manufacturers put the antennas on the back of the car. You may have a car, it's pretty rare, that has the antenna in the back window. It's not a physical antenna that's like the old style, that's, you know, this rod that sticks up from the car that either rises up when you turn on the car or goes back down. You have that. You have the ones that are just stationary, that you have to use a crescent wrench to get it off. You also have what they call shark fins, which that's what most standard cars have nowadays, are shark fins. Some look like a literal shark fin, some are just small, they look like a hump on the top of the car. Some cars have the antenna going through the back window, which to me is a bad design flaw. And I do want to thank you for watching my video, subscribing, liking, and if there's any kind of content you do want, I do content outside of just basic neons, as you can see in my videos. I just don't do it on neons, but primarily this channel is for neons. I do run Dodge Neon Racing on Facebook. You can go there and like it. Every month I do a car of the month for the neon. In order to qualify, you have to like the page, and 2, your car has to be either a neon or of the Mopar brand. So being Dodge, Chrysler, that type, made by Daimler Chrysler. And what it is you just post a picture of your vehicle. No Google images allowed. Because I do look at the Google images for cars, and if I come to find a post that somebody put and that image comes up on Google, then I can only assume you stole it from Google Images to use it, and that automatically disqualifies you from any more car of the month postings. So your picture has to be legit. So a lot of folks, they're actually in the photo, and a lot of folks that post actually are racing neons. You don't have to race your neon or race your Mopar vehicle in order to enter. So don't assume that just because it's called Dodge Neon Racing doesn't mean it's specifically just neon racing, because people, in a sense, get their neon and they like to soup them up, make them quicker, give them more horsepower, because it's a known fact a 2.0 straight line pushes out over 200 horsepower, but with modifications you can push almost 500 horsepower out of that 2.0 16 valve single overhead cam, and a little bit more in a 2.4, especially with a turbo and maybe some Eaton parts. It just all depends on what you do with your vehicle. Some people race them with a straight line stock 2.0 front wheel drive racing. So with that, like the page, enter your car, and each person that wins will get a Dodge Neon Racing decal, plus a special thank you for doing it. I just send those out. I don't tell you what they are. You'll get it. And then also every 3 months, I do a drawing out of the 3-month previous of everybody that's entered gets put into a drawing for a $50 gift card. And at the end of the year, I take everybody that's won Car of the Month, put them into a drawing, and they become Car of the Year, which you'll receive another decal of your color choice instead of the standard color I go with, which right now is white. And you'll also get a $50 gift card. As the company progresses and we get more involved and more people involved, I'll start being able to do a little bit more prizes for Car of the Month. Instead of just like most places that do Car of the Month, you just get your car posted on the Facebook page. Well, yes, you get it posted on the Facebook page. Your car also gets featured on the web page. The web page is still under development because there's really nothing out there like it. There's a lot of blogs and stuff for the Neon, but there's nothing collectively whole where you can just go and automatically find all the links for parts and information for the Neon and just go from there, to where you don't have to go and ask a question. So that's why I need input from you guys, so I can put that in the web page, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Not everything's legit, and that's what I screen. Any information I get, I screen it to make sure it's legit, it's correct, because I would hate for someone to get something off the website and it turns out and it blows the motor in your Neon because the part came from eBay and it really wasn't a car part, it just looked like one. So again, thank you for like, subscribe, comment. Negative comments, I will tell you this, any sarcastic comments, disrespectful comments will be removed, and if it's repeated, you will be reported. At Dodge Neon Racing, we take this very seriously. We're not children. We just don't antagonize and talk down anybody. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's basically how we roll here. Thank you again for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, the more subscribers I get, I'll start doing contests on YouTube, giveaways on YouTube. As it stands right now, I have a little over 20 subscribers, and if I can get 50, then I'll do my first contest giveaway, and progressives after that. So thanks again. Like, subscribe, comment, and take care, and treat your Neon like you treat yourself. Well, I shouldn't say that, because some of you treat yourself not so well, but take care of your Neon, because if Toyotas can go over 1,000,000 miles, so can your Neon. Thanks again, and have a great day.